2019 has brought a lot. I think the last time I was here, we were talking about, we just completed our $7.5 million raise. We just closed 2 transactions, CannTrust based down in Fort Erie near Niagara Falls, and Pure Pharma, an extraction company based out of Kelowna, British Columbia. So both of those completed, done before Christmas. CannTrust had done its first crop, planted its first crop, and took a little bit of a break over Christmas, not much. There's a lot of stuff to do, but since then we've been moving on full cylinders, all going forward right now. It's pretty good setup we have smoking along.
Sure, right. So what's the you guys were taking delivery of a large volume of hemp to process through your system to extract CBD. Has that happened yet?
No, the hemp hasn't come in yet.
Okay.
Hemp has been processed and it's sitting in Saskatchewan, getting ready to be shipped.
Okay. What dollar volume of hemp are we talking here?
So right now we're looking, there's about 50,000 kilograms sitting in Saskatchewan, a little bit more still to come in. So
and how many kilos of hemp extract, CBD extract, will that make?
You'd be looking dollar value somewhere in the neighborhood of about $40 million, wow. 30 to 40 million, depending on how the outcome ends up, but it's our expectation.
So that's like 10 to 20 cents a share, more, 30 cents a share.
Yeah, well, you're looking in revenue here,
just as
40 million. So yeah, when you look at the potential EBITDA of the company, you know, at full pull, and I'm talking about an annualized number, kind of by the end of this year, you'll be sitting at about 3 or 4 cents a share in EBITDA.
Wow. That's impressive for a recent entry into the cannabis space.
That's our goal right now.
Yeah. So the availability of cannabis extract feedstock in Canada is abundant. Would you categorize it as, or selectively, opportunistically available, or what is the story? Like, will you be able to buy and process crops of hemp whenever you want?
Hemp is much more readily available than cannabis is. Cannabis we can grow for our own requirements a little bit to accent what we're doing, but right now the guys are planning on processing the hemp. That's going to, what we have available and needing to be processed isn't a small amount, so it's going to take quite some time. And once we have our extraction units in, we have 2 machines going into British Columbia, 2 machines going here into Fort Erie to start. And then once they're set up and going, we still do need our processing license to allow us to start our extraction. We are hoping that soon. That is quite unfortunately out of our hands. It's 100% in within Health Canada.
Right.
But once we start that, it's a good solid 6 to 8 months worth of work to process all of this.
Okay.
By that time, we're expecting another crop to have come off, larger, more acreage that's being brought. Our Saskatchewan partners are expanding the farmer participation that they have and expanding the ability to grow more and higher API content hemp. We're excited about that. That's a big change for us for next year.
Okay. And meanwhile, back in Fort Erie, you're going to be growing high-grade THC premium flower?
Right now, we're just about to do our first harvesting. It'll come off looks like next week, I believe. And right now, it's an agreement with CannTrust that we have. We'll be we're growing their genetics, and we'll be selling back to them. In the future, we'll be growing our own, and specifically for depending on which oil-based product we want to put out as the end product, we'll be growing the cannabis to meet that.
Very good. Is there any ambition for CannTrust, or for rather Heritage, to expand globally?
You know what? I wouldn't say no. We don't have any interest in that. We are looking at a few things. With a limited amount of resources and capital that we have, we will be deploying that into the areas which have the best chance at making us the best return on investment in the shortest period of time. So everything that we do, every decision we're making, and we're deploying both human resources and capital, is in return on investment in the shortest period of time. Obviously, with this hemp and with our ability to have the extraction units going on, that is by far our best opportunity for ROI. That said, we have been having a lot of conversations with a few entities out of the United States and a couple of other countries, not for 2019 based business, but definitely for 2020.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. So then the focus on the growth strategy for all of 2019 will be pretty much Canadian.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, Canada, it's all about building up our own facilities. As everyone knows, coming up is going to be the green light for edibles.
Right.
What that does, in particular with our facility out in Canacure in Fort Erie, because of its sheer size and the way that it's been structured into a phase 1, 2, and 3. Mm-hmm. Phase 1 already done, purely for growing. Phase 2, we'll be working on that, getting into extraction. Phase 3, it's all about edibles and the products you can make with the oils to bring about better margins, and we'll be looking at partnering with companies who are quite knowledgeable in what they're doing on the edibles and any additional base business that comes as a result of this.
The most exciting thing in 2019 from where you sit for Heritage shareholders?
Well, you, obviously, yeah, it's got
wow.
to be.
Boy, are they ever going to be disappointed. Boy, I'm going to have to get out my checkbook. No, I mean in terms of the industry itself and the growth of the industry in Canada, like will Heritage see products on the shelves of the provincial vendors? Do you have a product sort of array in mind for the onset of the edibles at this point?
We do. Heritage isn't going to be aiming to the retail market in 2019. We're doing almost everything exclusively wholesale. Mm-hmm. So we will be doing wholesale-based products to other LPs. That's where we're allowed to sell. And we'll be white labeling products and developing products for others. That does not preclude us from getting into retail should we have that opportunity, and we are having discussions on that. But it's not our priority right now, nor does it need to be to get us to where we would like to be.
Okay,
but
interesting.
For exciting stuff, yeah, there's a lot coming up. We had a 60, a 120, and a 180-day plan that we put together in November.
Right.
We hit 60 bang on. In fact, we started to accomplish some of the 120 goals that we have. Everything's on schedule, looking for the 180. As soon as we hit that 180, we'll redo it all over again. That takes us to the end of the year. As long as everything's progressing nicely and is successful, it should be a good year for us.
Sure. Do you think that there's going to be any sort of price competition on CBD products as a result of the fact that, as you said, CBD is a lot more, or rather hemp is a lot more easy to acquire than THC?
Eventually. Do we see that in the next 12 to 18 months? Not at all.
There's just not enough of everything.
There's not even close to enough.
Right.
So when you look at the demand of this product and the expected demand when edibles, the door flies wide open on that. No one seems to have, and you can't have an exact idea of how large this market's going to be. We're just learning on how large the dried flower market is, and you've seen our ability to keep up to that as suppliers. It's virtually impossible. Mm-hmm. You know, Ontario and Alberta limiting the amount of retail stores because there's not enough product. In order to catch up to that's a lot of product to catch up. We are going to be supplying a lot of product, but for the conversations we're having right now, we can't supply enough product. There's no at point in our foreseeable future that we say, well, we might have a problem selling this product. Nor do I believe there's a foreseeable problem for any LP who is doing a good job in this. Mm-hmm. Our guys in the extracted product do a wonderful job. Okay. And you'll see that demand.
And that's so you've closed that transaction now of the extraction company.
For sure. Yeah.
And tell me a bit more about those guys. Where did they start their extraction business, and how is it that they've got this great pedigree?
Good group of guys, highly educated on engineering background. They actually got into it because of personal requirements. Mm-hmm. And when back in the days with their own personal licenses that they have and they've been producing, they produced oils under food flavoring and were able to sell it legally and got into producing hemp. I've said all along, and I maintain this. In fact, I've been saying this since I understood what extraction was all about. 2 years ago, I talked about extraction like it was, let's plug in a machine, throw some cannabis in one side, and out the other side comes this nice oil. Wow, I was wrong.
Yeah.
It turns out you need to know what you're doing,
Yeah.
and not a lot of people do. These guys happen to be extremely good at it. They've built a good, educated team. Some of that team is coming down here, going to be spending some time at CANN in Fort Erie. A couple of them will be moving here.
Wow.
And yeah, it's a great setup that we've got going. Well-educated, well-trained team, ready to go. Extraction units up. We'll be ready, and we're believing it'll be the end of February when we're ready to go.
Great.
Then it's our expectation that we need a license from Health Canada to be able to do this. If we don't get it in time, we have a plan B. The plan B is not as exciting as our plan A, but it's still enough to keep us moving forward, and that's really our goal.
Okay, well, excellent. We'll be looking forward to coming down with a film crew and shooting your crops down there in Fort Erie.
For sure.
Clint, that's a great update. We'll leave it there for now and come back to you in due course. Thanks for joining me today.
I'm looking forward to it. Thanks, James.